Hey, yo, what it do? Y'all already know what time it is, man. We back for another Elevation Talks. I'm Nate Liggins, man. Y'all see, I'm sitting in one of my favorite spots, y'all. Man, listen, I really enjoy sitting in my car sometimes. Like, that's really, I feel like, one of my favorite pastimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's something about the peace and solitude that you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nobody, just you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you and God just in the car chilling. You feel me? Just like talking and sometimes not even talking, just like enjoying the peace in the atmosphere. And you know what I'm saying? Just like the surroundings, like, I enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my way of like being outside without actually being outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna hold you, right? So I enjoy being outside, right? But not really outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people gonna understand what I'm saying. I had seen like this HGTV it was like I don't know what show it was, but it was an episode or it was a commercial or something. And they were showing like this outdoor, it almost puts you in the mindset of like a glass box or something. And they had placed it in their backyard. And so it's like they're sitting outside, but it's in a closed in area. And I was like, and I'm talking, it was nice, it was big, it was beautiful. I was like, I want that in my backyard, because I really do enjoy being outside, but I don't like what comes with outside, like the bugs and, you know what I'm saying, the this and the that. But I really just enjoy the atmosphere. I enjoy hearing the birds chirp. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, sitting in the car is really like, it's just peaceful for me, man. I get to cancel out all the noise. It's really just my way of spending time. Y'all know this about me. I really enjoy spending time with myself. Like, I think that's something that's important, and I think that's something, you know what I'm saying, that everybody needs to do at some point. Really just spend time with yourself and like sit with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly feel like we don't do that enough as people. You know what I'm saying? We're so used to having distractions around us and, you know, noise and let me go do this, let me go do that, that some people actually don't even like to sit with themselves, because then they will have to actually deal with themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, yeah, I really, really enjoy, you know what I'm saying, like spending time with myself, but I'm not a loner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I have, you know, friends and associates and stuff like that that I, you know, mess with and all of that. But it's like, it's nothing like it, man. For real. I'm telling you. Like, I spend intentional time with God, and I also spend intentional time with myself. And I think that's probably something that we don't talk about enough. Like, the importance and the value of spending time with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that you can become self-aware of who you are. You know what I mean? So that wasn't even that wasn't even my topic today. But I just look, let me just put that out there. But that wasn't even my topic today. Y'all, let me tell you about God. Man, listen. So I had this encounter yesterday, right? So let me just give you a little backstory real quick, because it matters. So a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago at this point, I had been talking about like, dang, like I want to do more. I just want to build up my connections more within the industry. And I personally feel like, so for y'all that don't know, if you don't know, so I've been in the television and film / entertainment industry for like 18 years. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my work has been in the sector of like live productions for sports, broadcasting, more like unscripted / like branded content, commercial / corporate content, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Although I got my start as a videographer, No Limit Records with Master P and Romeo, like, and I also did like, I think one of my first gigs was doing a filming of a live performance of Young Jock during Pride weekend. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's definitely like I started within the entertainment sector, and I've just been kind of like moving around within the industry. You know what I'm saying? Just, I enjoy being well-rounded for real. But on this part of my life, I've spent a lot more time like I've been directing and producing content. Shoot, I've been in the industry like 18 years. I've also, but from a actual standpoint of like, I'm sitting in the seat of a producer and director, it's been at least maybe 14 years or so. And so, again, a lot of my producing and directing role comes from a sports broadcasting, live streaming sector. You know what I mean? So I've been stepping more into show running. As y'all know, I've been in my writing bag. Do you hear me? And, you know, I wrote this show called In the Kitchen Cooking with DJ Waffles. I created Creators Talk Live. You know, got books out, got the whole thing, right? And so I've been wanting to, you know what I'm saying, just work on more industry affiliated projects in terms of culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been wanting to get on some stuff for like Paramount, Warner Brothers, stuff like that. So I really appreciate God because I haven't had to go the route most people take. You know what I'm saying? To get into this industry for real and do the work that they've had to do. Like, to keep it a buck with you, I've never been a production assistant. And I know that that's crazy because it's like, you know, that's the start in the industry, being a production assistant. And it's like, nah, like, I didn't have to do that. Like, literally, I was able to come in as a producer, as a director, because I've just been always good with like logistics and leadership and, you know what I'm saying? Just making sure like everything is going how it's supposed to go. And, you know what I'm saying? People are where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so literally, man, I had been saying like, man, yeah, like I want to join the Directors Guild of America. And I also want to join the Writers Guild of America. And so, you know, I haven't really been a part of an organization within the entertainment industry. I just been doing me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've worked, you know, like I have corporate experience when it comes to video production, and, you know, I've taught high school, like live broadcasts and stuff like that. So I've worked with, you know, clients like Pelican, Rifle Paper, like through Casemate and stuff like that. And we've done a lot of like product commercials and ads and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like I said, I really got experience in that department. And so, but you know what I'm saying, I've been wanting to get in organization because it's like I want to work on more episodic and like commercials and stuff like that. I think movies and stuff is cool, and I'll probably get into that at some point. But I really enjoy like episodic content. Like I said, I'm a showrunner. And so I have like TV series, and I also have a few like movie scripts and stuff that I've written, but more so I lean into television more than film. You know what I mean? So anywho, so I was just like, yeah, man, like I wanna join that. And so I don't know how long in between me saying that, but I remember getting on LinkedIn and I had seen like the first thing that I saw like getting on was this lady sharing like, oh, a DGA training meeting is happening. Just wanted to share. And so I had clicked on it and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is for the Directors Guild of America. And so I was like, man, okay. Oh, they have a program, an assistant director program, training program, and it's based in either New York or Los Angeles. And so I remember looking at it and I was just like, man, okay, like, well, I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, okay, but it's good to know, like, that, this is what's happening. And so I was telling my friend about it and she was like, I mean, you probably should still apply for it because, I mean, you did say that you need to redo, New York since you didn't have a good experience when you went. And so I was like, I mean, you're not. And so she was like, you don't know what God gonna do. And it's like, I love when people pour back into me the very things that I tell them. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, yeah, nah, for real. Like, you don't know what God gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, all right, so, just brushed it off and kept going. And so probably within the next few days, I had ended up getting on Instagram. And as soon as I get on Instagram, I see that they're hosting a DGA training assistant training program, assistant director training program meeting in Atlanta. And I said, wait a minute, man. I was just reading up on something like this. And I was like, dang, and they hosting it in Atlanta? So it's like, okay, I ain't got no excuse. Like, I need to go because I'm in Atlanta. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have an excuse or a reason why I can't go. And so it was like, I'm looking at the information. I had screenshotted and stuff. And so it's like, all right, boom, send an email here so, we can RSVP. You can confirm that you're coming. So I do all of that. Cool. Get the RSVP. Now, in the email, it says one address. On the flyer, it says another address. So I'm like, all right, but I ain't think nothing of it. As time got closer, I had started feeling like, man, you know what? I don't know if I want to go to that. You know what I'm saying? You know how we start getting in the way. It's like we could be excited about something and we can know that something is for us. And then it's like as time get closer, it's like we start talking ourselves out of it. You know what I'm saying? And so literally, like, as the day was getting closer to go to the meeting, again, I was scrolling on social media and I seen it. And it wasn't a sponsored ad or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, dang, that go that flyer again. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, so boom, it's the day of the meeting, right? I go help my friend put her stuff in storage and stuff because she just moved to the city. And so I'm like, this really kind of take all day. So by the time we headed back to the house, it's like, I don't know, it's like 5 something at this point, and the meeting is at 6. And so if you know anything about Atlanta, you already know it's going to be traffic. It's going to take you, 40 minutes to get down the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? And plus, I wanted to I need to go home and shower and, like put my clothes on and stuff. And so we pulled up to the house and I was just like, man, because I had already been kind of debating that same day. Like, man, I don't think I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying? So boom, I make it to the house, right? It's probably about 5:17 at this point. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs and shower because I just need to get the day off of me. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm in the shower, right? Y'all, I cannot tell y'all how many times God has spoken to me while being in the shower. Like, no music playing. And I'm telling y'all this stuff because it's like the details are important. You feel me? And it's like no music playing, no distractions, no conversation, just me and God. You feel me? And so I'm having a conversation in my mind. And I'm just like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna go. And it's like, bruh, how many times you gonna continue to make yourself available and do all of these things for other people? But then it's like when it comes time for you to do what you need to do for you, you always put it on the back burner, or you be like, oh, maybe next time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you have to stop doing that. You have to stop constantly making time to make sure that everybody else straight and show up for everybody else, and you don't return that same energy to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I thought it felt like it went from me talking to me to God talking to me. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I was like, man, but like, it's already 5:30 at this point. Like, what am I going to wear? Like, it's going to take a minute to get there, all of that. And it's just like, yo, you need to stop doing this. You don't know how that meeting going to change your life, but it won't change your life if you don't show up. You said you wanted to get into this program, and here they are hosting a free meeting that all you got to do is get to. And it's like, you acting like you ain't been short on time before. You acting like you don't live this life of, oh, boom, came home, shower, and I'm right back out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't your first rodeo. And it's like, you making up all of these excuses, and it's like, you need to go. And I was just like, so I started thinking like, okay, well, what am I going to wear? And so immediately I started seeing outfits in my mind. Like, okay, I ain't going to have to iron that. It's going to be cool. And so as I'm still getting out the shower, and I'm like, man, but I'm going to miss some of the meeting because it's like I'm going to get there late. And then it's like, in my mind, I feel like, again, this is God talking to me. They're going to hold a meeting for you. Like, it ain't going to start till you get there. And so I'm just like, man, you know what? I'm going to go. And so, you know what I'm saying? So I put it on. Y'all already know when I put it on because that's just what I do, right? And so, boom. And so, all right, so I get ready. So at this point, it's like 5:45, and I'm like, dang, I need to charge my phone, because it's like, one of the things about me, I hate going anywhere and my phone is not charged. And so I was on like 31% or something. And I was like, dang, like, I need to charge my phone. So I probably charged my phone like 5 minutes, and I'm like, yo, the longer I sit here, the longer it's going to take me to get there, the more I'm missing XYZ. And so I started looking for, I have this mobile MagSafe, like charger box or whatever. And it fits on the back of your phone. It charges your phone. But I ain't seen it in a minute. So I was just like, dang. And so I was like, okay, where is it at? And so I was like, I don't have time to sit and look for it. Like, and so I was just like, okay, well, Lord, please don't let my phone die. So boom. So I'm on the way to the place. And so before I pull off, I'm seeing like, yo, this joint got 2 different addresses. One say it said Atlanta City Hall, and then the other is an address, and they like come through the back of the church or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. But I had put both addresses in my GPS, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go to the City Hall one first, and you know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of go from there. So as I'm riding, right, as I'm headed to the meeting, now it's traffic. You already know it's 5:30. It's 5:45 at this point. So that means traffic is thick, but it's traffic in some spots, and then I'm zooming through the other spots, right? So as I'm riding, I'm just like, man, parking, like, what we gonna do about parking? And in my mind, it's just like, I had said this out loud. I was telling myself, like, about parking. And I had said, shoot, the way God set up, he gonna have you a spot available. Cause they was like, get there early so you can take advantage of the like street parking and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if, you know what I'm saying? Or there's like a parking deck or whatever, like further down, whatever. But I was like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? I want to kind of get in the front or whatever, so it's straight. So I'm riding, right? And so in my mind, it was like, oh, so you think God will do it just like that for you? And so I said, I was like, yeah, he do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, but even if he don't, I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be. And so in my mind, it was like, oh, so you trust God like that? And I said, huh, absolutely, right? Bruh. Yo, tell me why. I'll pull up to the doggone City Hall. There is a parking space in front of the building, literally just a few feet away from the door. Do you hear me? Man, all right. So by this time, it's like 6:20. So I'm like, all right. So I was just like, Lord, you are wild. And so I had first checked to make sure I can park there, because y'all know in Atlanta, you liable to go in somewhere and come back out and there is a boot on your car. And that's the worst feeling to have. That's the worst thing to do, man. You went somewhere, you didn't have a good time, you straight, everything cool, and then you come out and you either got a ticket or a boot on your car. I mean, welcome to Atlanta. You hear me? And so, crazy thing is, I get to the meter, right, to pay for the parking. Y'all, this parking was $4. $4. Now, if you know anything about parking in Atlanta, you know they trying to hit you over the head when it comes to that parking fee. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, Lord, you are so wild, because it's like, that's one of my pet peeves. That's why I don't really like coming to the city for real, because it's like they be trying to charge you an arm and a leg for a parking space. And so I was like, $4? I got that. You know what I'm saying? So boom, go in there, pay for parking. I walk in the building and I'm thinking, you know, like, oh, you're going to have to look for it. As I'm walking through the metal detector, the meeting is literally right here in the lobby. Like, and I'm just like, bro, God is amazing, right? And so, boom, I go sit down and they're still going through introductions. So I ain't even missed nothing. And I'm just like, I just kept telling myself, like, Lord, oh my goodness, you are so amazing. You are so amazing. Like, oh my God, oh my God. Ah. And so I was just sitting there like, I cannot believe I made it to the meeting. I cannot believe that it literally worked out as I said, like as we was talking about when I was in the shower. Like, you know, they're going to hold a meeting for you. Here I am, ain't missed nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, you know, parking. Like, and I was like, well, you know, I hope I get a parking. Like, I need me a parking spot in the front. I got one. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, man, I kid y'all not, bro. When I pulled up to this parking spot and it was open. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. It was a parking spot in the middle. So meaning there was a car in the back and a car in the front of the parking space. And so, you know, like I had the parallel park and everything. And so luckily, wasn't nobody coming behind me for real, but like a person that was like in a golf cart. So they not, you know what I'm saying? Like they not really going nowhere. But it was like I actually had the time and space to park without rushing, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how it is, like, especially when you see like a parallel like space you got to park in, it's like you might have, you know, somebody behind you that might be, you know what I'm saying, doing too much, or, you know, just whatever is happening. And it's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna see if something else available. I didn't go through none of that. You feel me? And I'm just like, it really put a smile on my face, because it was me listening to God. First of all, being obedient, listening in acting. And so the meeting was dope. Like I said, the meeting is for the DGA training, assistant director and training program that's based in Los Angeles or New York. And so I'm hearing more and more about the programs and stuff. And I'm just like, I think I'm going to apply, bro. I think I'm going to apply. I think I'm going to apply for the New York joint. And so I'm looking at the panel of people speaking, and I land my eye on this guy named Nelson. And I'm listening to Nelson talk, and he does a lot like commercial stuff and, things like that. And I was like, he the one I need to talk to. So, boom, afterwards, right? Oh, and I'm missing something. When I walk in, the lady at the table, she like, what's your name? And I was like, Liggins. And so she was looking like, I don't see it. And she like, okay, what's your first name? And so we was saying nay at the same time. And so she's like, okay, cool, got you. So the meeting wrap up. It was a good meeting. So I go and I find her because she was like, for those of y'all that, might decide like assistant directing is not really the avenue that you want to take. She was like, next month we're hosting, and she was like, and maybe some of y'all want to join like the Writers Guild of America. Next month we're hosting Shondaland. Like Shonda Rhimes is going to be here, and she's going to be doing a master class on like writing for television or whatever. And I'm like, if you know, that's right up my alley. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yo. And so she was like, I haven't sent out the information for it yet. But, if you scan our QR code, I'm going to send out the info. And it was just like, yo, had I not came to this meeting, I would have never even known that they were hosting a free masterclass with Shonda Rhimes for people who want to get into more writing for television. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wow, talk about being in the right place at the right time. And keep in mind, I had said I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be, right? So by the end of it, I walk up to the lady and I was just like, hey, and I was like, she was like, yeah, Nay Liggins, right? She was like, yeah, I remember names. And I was like, yeah, Nay Liggins. And so I was like, just asking her different questions like, yo, have y'all thought about like live streaming this? Or, me and her just have a conversation. And I just, I left her with my card. And so, we chopping and connecting. She writes and produces as well. And so I'm like, bet. So after that connection, I go and make the connection with Nelson because I had already said I want to holler at Nelson before I leave. So I'm standing there. It's like a group of us, and Nelson went from talking to somebody to now I'm just standing in front of him, and it's like we all having a conversation, but we having a conversation. And so, I just started picking his brain, and he probably got like 20 years worth of industry experience and stuff like that. And so one of the things that made me want to talk to him when he was on the panel was he had mentioned God. And so he was the only person on the panel that mentioned God. And so I was already like, I honed in on him a little more like, okay, yeah, I want to holler at bruh. And so like throughout the conversation that we was having, he was just like, if you already got, certain things in place, really, I would just tell you to lean on your faith. Like if you had it, like if you believe in it. And so, what I'm saying? Like, so he dropping gems. And so by the end of it, I was just like, cause I was telling him, I'm saying, like, boom, I'm a showrunner. I created a show. Like I also come from like the corporate commercial background space, the whole thing. And so he was just talking about, using your resources, network and all of that. And so by the end of it, I was like, yo, do you do like interviews and stuff? And he was like, yeah, like, what's up? And I was like, I have a podcast called Elevation Talks, and I would love to just sit down and chop it with you. You know what I'm saying? And so I left him with my card, and he was like, yeah, man, like, let's connect. Like, let's do that. And so we hugged and stuff, and I left, and I just felt so, I feel like me and Nelson gonna end up having a relationship, because he was like, I haven't pitched anything to networks, but I know people who have. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like the conversation that we was having, it was just a really dope conversation. And it was just like, yo, we possibly got a guest for Elevation Talks, which is going to be dope, because it's like, y'all get to kind of see a little bit inside of the other side of my world that I don't get to like share for real on the podcast, unless you like, following me on different platforms and stuff. You get to kind of see me in my director role and, you know what I'm saying, showrunning, stuff like that. But I really, that encounter was so dope last night, and I wanted to share it because it's like, I'm really glad that I had that encounter with God while I was in the shower. And it was just like, yeah, go to the meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even tired for real. You worried about all the nuances of like, oh, it's going to be traffic, parking, how much is it going to cost? All of these things have already been taken care of for you. All you got to do is show up. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you about this last part, which is crazy. Now, remember I told you I was looking for my mobile battery charger for my phone, right? Why I see my mom and she like, oh, I was out at an event and I got this little thing, but it's compatible for iPhone. Here you go, Ebony, here. And so she give it to me. You know what it is? It's a freaking mobile charger for my phone. And I'm just like, it literally looks like the one that I was looking for, but this one came with a stand. Shout out to Anchor. And I'm just like, Lord, now you so funny, bro. Like, and keep in mind, all of this happened in the same day. So it's like, in order for the battery pack at the end to make sense, you would need to know that I was looking for the battery pack before I left the house, and that was gonna be one of the reasons why I was like, man, I can't go. I need to charge my phone. And my phone didn't die. Like, by the time I made it back to the house, I was on like 12%. And so I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I could appreciate that. But like, I'm telling you, man, like the ride home, I was so geeked because it was like, I had remember saying like, yeah, like I trust God to do that. Like, knowing him, he been and had me a parking space right in the front. You feel what I'm saying? And I remember like in my mind, it was almost like, if you ever get into the word, right, the Bible, there are times where God, like, or Jesus questions oh, you trust me to do that? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that was my moment of him asking me, like, you think I have you a spot in the front? And I was like, oh yeah, he'll set it up just like that, because I know him. Like, he does stuff like that. You feel me? And so it was like, but I had came back and I said, even if he don't set it up to where I'm right in the front, I know I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying? And I really feel like it was like a moment. You know what I'm saying? It was a gem drop moment. And it was just like, stuff like that, I think it's always good to encounter, because it helps strengthen your faith. You know what I'm saying? It helps, like, you trust in God with the little things, right? And so it's like, if you trust in God with the little things, imagine if you trust him with bigger things, what that experience is going to be like. And y'all already know, I got stories for days. I got receipts for days when it comes to God, and just the different encounters that I be having, bruh. And so I just wanted to share, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that you're thinking about doing, you know, whether it might be pivoting or, you know, you waiting on God to do something, like whatever is happening, continue to meet God and he gonna meet you where you are. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, you have to show up. You know what I'm saying? You have to be obedient. You gotta trust him. You gotta trust that, like, and even when I tell you, like I told y'all, I was concerned about traffic. There were like pockets of traffic, but it wasn't like standstill. Like, it was moving, it was consistent, and I was able to get there in 30 minutes. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was going to take me about an hour or so to get there, and it's like, nah. Like, and I just be like, man, shout out to God for just like making it happen, man. Shout out to God for making it happen. And just, you know, I can't stop smiling about it, because it was just like, I'm really grateful that I went, man. And who knows, like, even learning that the program is free, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go to the meeting, because there is a part of me that was like, I'm not even going to fill out the application for the training program, because it's in New York. It's in Los Angeles. I'm in Atlanta. And plus, you know, it's probably going to cost some bread to go. You feel me? And it's like, yeah, you got to pay for your housing and stuff, but it's free to apply. It's free to get in the program, and they're going to pay you when they book you for gigs and stuff. And it's a great way for you to make connections. And I'm just like, man, this really right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really looking forward to just seeing what God gonna do, you know. And I think it'll be dope to take y'all, like, I don't even know, like, maybe even start another podcast or show that's dedicated to the people that work in the film, like the television and film industry. And you kind of get to hear from, you know, different directors and crew members and, you know, executives, and maybe even come on set with me so you can see some of the stuff that be going on, because I'm like, a lot of people don't get to actually see and experience the behind the scenes of, you know, their favorite movie being made or their favorite television show being made, etc. So yeah, like, I'm definitely I think it's an interesting thing too, because quiet is kept, I've been feeling like I've exhausted Atlanta. And I ain't really been talking about it out loud, because I'm like, okay, Lord, what's up? Like, what's next? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, like, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that's listening to us around the world. Y'all really be tuning in, and I really appreciate it. And I'm talking about y'all, we global. You feel me? And I love it. Hey, I appreciate y'all doing that, man. Shout out to everybody that's in Japan, the UK. Who else was on there? India was on there. Shoot. The United States, of course, is on there. Just shout out to everybody that's literally sharing this out, getting fed from this. You know what I'm saying? Just being inspired, all of that. Like, I really do appreciate it, man. Like, I never knew I was going to be doing this, and let alone, like, enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate it. Until next time, y'all already know, set it up and run it up per usual. And follow your dreams, man. Go after the things that you say you want. Walk in purpose and run it up. You feel me? I'm going to get up with you. Hey!